Coming up on Cronkite News, the battle over the Colorado River water is not just about drought and distribution. Businesses will also feel the impact.
And later, if you plan on getting your hands on Super Bowl memorabilia this week, you'll want to hear the warning from the Department of Homeland Security.
Plus, tracking the wolves, we will give you a behind-the-scenes look at what gives into helping the Mexican wolf population in the region.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Miriam Cristal Ordóñez.
And I'm John Brown. Thank you for joining us.
The historic low levels of the Colorado River will likely impact all Arizonans. Cronkite News reporter Alyssa Munoz spent some time on the water and found out that will be especially difficult for people who make their living on the river.
The Colorado River, with its daily rising and lowering tides, has been good to Jeff English.
To be in a place like this is just pretty extraordinary too, so I don't know how you can not like it. When you call that your office, you got a pretty good job.
English has worked as a fishing guide at Lee's Ferry for the past 33 years. Making memories and meeting new people is what he loves most.
Yeah, you can all see this, but the people you meet along the way, I've had people come for 20-some years in a row. I've watched kids grow from 2 years old into adults.
He's used to the sudden changes in water levels and the occasional downpour or cloudless scorcher that makes fishing an exercise in tolerance.
The warmer water has made it more difficult to fish for cold water fish.
But he's not sure he's ready for what's coming if the river continues to dry up, fed in part by the number of people lining up at its tap.
Many, many more people here than there ever used to be.
Typically, the total demand for Colorado River hovers around 15 million acre-feet. But according to the Bureau of Reclamation, annual flows from Lee's Ferry are closer to 12 million acre-feet, which means we are using a lot more water than this river can provide.
U.S. government data shows in April, Lake Powell hit its lowest water level since it was filled in 1980. And while English says he and his angler friends aren't quite parched,
nothing bad has happened here yet.
A drier river could really hurt.
If we were to suffer a few more years of really drought years, we could lose a lot of the river and ultimately the fishery and the entire recreation aspect that this place provides.
If we get to pretty low water, we may have challenges where we can't run motorboats through the canyon.
Sam Jensen has been steering rafts through the White Waters and Red Rock Canyons of the Colorado for about 30 years as a Grand Canyon tour guide.
It's just this fantastic experience. For a lot of people, it's a highlight of a lifetime.
He says the river is always changing, but shallow water means warmer water, which directly impacts fish such as rainbow trout.
Last year, we saw more dead trout just floating along or washed up on shore than I've ever seen before.
The decreased river flows also means that there are often more rapids, increased shallow areas where rafters have to be cautious.
Well, there are about 140 rapids in the Grand Canyon, and in low water, they get more rocky. Some of them get pretty sharp, some of them get pretty scary, really. They're challenging. So that'll be something that'll be new for us to see.
In a changing landscape where beaches that never existed suddenly sprout from the shoreline.
2 more years of a severe drought, and the river as we know it will be changed. And so won't the lifestyle of millions of people downstream from here that use it.
For now, thousands of those people still flock to the river. Business hasn't slowed down for either Jansen or English, perhaps because people are spurred on by fear that this river won't be here for long. In Marble Canyon, Alyssa Munoz, Cronkite News.
Recently, the 7 states that take water from the Colorado River failed to come to an agreement on cuts. Just today, a state water official told The Hill he expects the federal government will have to step in.
With the recent mass shootings across the country, gun safety continues to be at the forefront of many political conversations. Cronkite News reporter Anna Stansfield tells us how State Representative Jennifer Longden is hoping to increase gun safety in Arizona.
As a survivor of gun violence, Representative Longden is calling for action to increase gun safety across Arizona. Currently, she has proposed 10 bills that are still awaiting action from the House. Here are the 4 we're focusing on. House Bill 2177 establishes a process where someone's concealed weapons permit would be removed if they are convicted of a felony or domestic violence offense. House Bill 2180 addresses the waiting period between the purchase of a firearm and its delivery. Currently in Arizona, there is no waiting period, but if this bill is passed, those hoping to buy a gun will have to wait 3 days before it's in their hands. Next, we have House Bill 2182. This bill would change how unlicensed gun owners transfer or sell their firearms. They would now be required to go through a licensed dealer. Finally, we have House Bill 2193. This would raise the current legal age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21. If this bill passes, anyone under the age of 21 would not be able to buy or use a gun without proper supervision, like being on a supervised gun range. Feelings about these proposed bills are mixed.
And it's really important to be out in force and to show our lawmakers that the vast majority of people in this state support gun safety laws. And we expect them to act, to pass life-saving laws that are proven by data to make our communities safer.
What I don't understand is a lot of these gun laws are really only going to affect legal gun owners. They're not going to affect the criminals. Like the criminal's not going to look at a new law and be like, oh, I guess I can't do that now. Like a criminal is going to do whatever they want. You can totally ban guns in the country and criminals would still find a way to get access to it.
These bills still have a long way to go before they become law. In the past, a Republican-controlled legislature has not supported gun legislation like these bills. At the Google touchscreen, Anna Stansfield, Cronkite News.
Another bill, HB 2332, is not sponsored by Representative Longden, but it would require gun safety education in schools between grades 6 through 12. More on that later this week here on Cronkite News. And we're now just 6 days away from Super Bowl 57 right here in the Valley.
Sammy Miller from Cronkite Sports is here to get us ready for the big game. The Eagles and Chiefs have landed. Both teams arrived at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport in Arizona on Sunday, exactly 1 week before they face off in Super Bowl 57. The Chiefs arrived first just before 2 p.m. The players were greeted by Chiefs Hall of Famer Christian Okoye, who swagged them out with Super Bowl merchandise and snagged a selfie with Patrick Mahomes, which unbeknownst to him was photobombed by Travis Kelce. The Eagles landed shortly after, all decked out in matching gray sweatsuits. Jalen Hurts rocked a vintage Eagles jacket over his sweatsuit as the rest of the Eagles clan headed to the buses that took them to their hotels. From a Lombardi trophy to an NFL jersey to your favorite football team's hat, federal officials say you may be getting scammed. Cronkite News reporter John Brown takes a look at how some agencies are trying to stop this.
If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
That's the message Customs and Border Patrol and the Department of Homeland Security is sending out to consumers ahead of Super Bowl 57. Beware of fake merchandise. Jim Mancuso with Customs and Border Patrol says one popular fake, NFL jerseys.
When you're looking at the inner lining of stitching, is it clean? Are there gaps? Is it bunched up? If you're seeing nice, clean stitching, and sometimes counterfeiters forget, and there's felt is a clear indication that it's a counterfeit product.
And that's only one example. Border Patrol is using various technology to find fakes.
For us, we're focused on what's coming into the country through our cargo facilities or our passenger facilities, and that's where we try to intercept this merchandise.
In the last year, DHS said it seized more than 267,000 counterfeit sports merchandise. That's worth an estimated $97.8 million, and they are cracking down in Arizona this week.
If you are bringing in a counterfeit product and you are trying to make a quick buck and where you're identified, you're going to be held accountable for that.
In Phoenix, John Brown, Cronkite News.
Now, one suggestion if you want to make sure it's official merchandise, buy from the official NFL website. Thanks for that great report, John.
Thanks so much, Sammy. I learned a lot about what to look for in counterfeits.
Coming up next on Cronkite News.
Cronkite News got a peek behind the scenes to this year's Mexican wolf count. We'll show you the work that goes into helping Arizonans' endangered species.
And later, we'll give you the highlights from the 65th Annual Grammy Awards.
Help your child learn at home with PBS Kids. Together, explore reading, math and science, life lessons, and more right alongside your favorite characters on TV and anytime on the PBS Kids 24/7 channel. And we offer free resources to help with at-home learning. Visit pbskids.org for educational tips, lessons, and hands-on activities. Also, sign up to receive even more information by email. Discover lots of fun tools and ideas to keep your child engaged. Learn at home with PBS Kids.
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation. How do you think that it's so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives?
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS. Find out what's on Arizona PBS at azpbs.org/schedule.
Something that always happens this time of the year, the annual count of the Mexican gray wolf population. Our team of reporters are some of the first to cover this event since COVID hit in 2020. Brianna Steele got to witness the process of saving this endangered species.
Annie Barkin is on the Arizona Game and Fish team for today's capture.
I'm a Mexican wolf technician with the Arizona Game and Fish Department. During our helicopter capture, depending on the day, I'm either up in the helicopter mugging or I'm on the ground as a processing lead or a processing coordinator.
Her job today?
To get a radio collar on it, and then we want to make sure, of course, that the wolf is healthy, and we take sometimes body measurements, we give them vaccines, and we'll draw blood to get genetics on it. So the genetics will help tell us, what pack it comes from. We'll see if it has a pit tag, which would tell us if they were handled as a pup.
She's leading a team of volunteers who are helping inspect and track wolves in northern Arizona for the annual wolf count.
This is all about recovery. That's what our goal is. Everything we're doing here is ultimately getting us towards recovery.
The federal government removed wolves in the 70s, but Arizona reintroduced the Mexican wolf population 25 years ago, starting with 11, and at last count there are at least 196.
The Mexican gray wolf is a subspecies of the gray wolf and stands about 5.5 feet tall. These species have been endangered since the 70s, and this population count hopes to bring them back on track.
About midday, a helicopter returned with a darted wolf for inspection. This is a collared female coming to get checked. While at the Arizona Game and Fish site, the team is ready for her vaccines and checkup. They are focused on getting her a new collar and making sure she is healthy before release.
Collars both help us track recovery of Mexican wolves and then also mitigate conflict as needed, so we can tell, where they're hanging out.
While at camp, she was fitted with a new collar marked with popular cartoon characters Phineas and Ferb duct tape to differentiate her from other wolves. The team will do this all again, searching for as many wolves to count as possible towards their goal.
An average of 320 wolves for a period of 8 years in the United States population, and then like we talked about, the 22 wolves that survived to breeding age from captivity that have been released into the wild.
As for Wolf 1686, once she's finished with her measurements and blood draws, she will be released back into the wild to join her Castle Rock pack later today. In Alpine, Arizona, I'm Brianna Steele, Cronkite News.
The population count is done in November every year, but capture and release instances like this help researchers determine each year's minimal count.
Phoenix Children's Hospital is undergoing a big expansion, opening 2 new facilities in the valley. The Gilbert location will cater to women and children's care, while the one in Glendale will be a full 3-story hospital with 6 operating rooms. The $400 million expansion will help the hospital serve more patients. In Glendale alone, 76,000 kids are expected to be seen every year. Both facilities are set to open either later this year or early 2024.
Plenty of sunshine in the forecast for all the visitors coming into town for Super Bowl 57.
Yeah, Jordan Lavazari joins us in the Weather Center with a look at the forecast.
Thank you, guys. We are looking at a really nice evening. We can see 6 p.m. is going to start us with 63 degrees, slowly working our way down till we get to 56 at 10 p.m. If you're going out to walk the dog, I suggest you throw on a jacket. It could be a little bit chilly. But looking at those highs for tomorrow in the valley, we are seeing some beautiful temperatures here with 70 degrees in Phoenix, 68 in Tempe. We're looking at really nice temperature, obviously getting a little bit lower as we head out further from the center. We can also see that there is some cloud coverage happening over here in the U.S., but we can see Arizona is missing most of that. We're going to have really, really sunny skies this week, which is great for us. We can see Tuesday through Thursday is looking to be in the 70s. Great temperature for the WM Phoenix Open. And we're also seeing that we're going to have a nice Friday at 77 degrees. Going into our Super Bowl Sunday, very sunny skies. We're going to have great weather for all of those of you who are celebrating the big game. And we're going to have a wonderful Monday and Tuesday, kind of tapering off a little bit in temperature. You can see that we're getting into the 60s. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Jordan Lavazari.
I'm Sammy Miller. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. It's been tough on the ice this season, but off the ice, the Coyotes are scoring the community.
Now streaming on the PBS app, the definitive collection of documentaries from award-winning filmmaker Ken Burns.
Hemingway, the man, is much more interesting than the myth.
It is a story that Americans have to reckon with.
He's got my job. I'm the town.
Discover over 40 groundbreaking films that bring our history to life. Stream the Ken Burns collection now with Passport on the PBS app.
General Manager of Arizona PBS. We've got so much going on here at the station.
I'm Catherine Anaya.
I'm Alberto Rios.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell.
I'm Ted Simons.
We want everyone to know that their Arizona connection starts right here at Arizona PBS.
For over the past 60 years, Arizona PBS has told incredible stories of Arizona's distinctive people.
We got to start being more vulnerable with each other.
What I love most about being a Latina woman is the passion and drive that I feel.
Beautiful landscapes and treasured history.
We're doing something that benefits the community.
Good evening and welcome to Horizonte.
Welcome to Check Please, Arizona.
Welcome to the U.S. Senate debate.
The recipient of the Emmy is
Arizona PBS.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Sammy Miller. Super Bowl 57 is now less than a week away, and the action is already picking up all across the Valley. Earlier today, the Arizona Super Bowl Host Committee spoke to the media about its preparations to welcome fans to the region and what to expect at events leading up to the game. Cronkite sports reporter Zach Woodard is at the Phoenix Convention Center, where Cardinal great Larry Fitzgerald has a new perspective on the Super Bowl.
That's right, Sammy. Fitz is on the committee. This committee features Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs and Cardinals owner Michael Bidwell, who just spoke here at the convention center about what they anticipate for this upcoming week. Fitz even jokes, saying that it's easier to play in a Super Bowl than it is to plan one.
You know, as a former player, you have no idea what goes into making the Super Bowl what the Super Bowl is. And I remember vividly back to my time, and you get on the plane, you land, the buses are there, takes you to the hotel, your hotel room keys are available. You come down and eat, the food is prepared. But now being in this position over the last year has been transformational for me, because I got a chance to see how the sausage is made, how everybody's able to enjoy such an unbelievable game, and the work that goes on behind the scenes.
Later tonight, Sammy, the two teams will be here in Phoenix at the Footprint Center for the annual Super Bowl Media Day, and it's always a spectacle. 5,000 members of the media are anticipated to attend, and fans can attend as well by purchasing tickets. The Eagles are going to kick it off at 6, and the Chiefs come through at 8 p.m.
Thanks, Zach. You heard Fitz say that the only thing the players have to worry about is playing. Everything else is taken care of as the Eagles arrive at their hotel. They are staying at the Sheraton Wild Horse Pass and will have tight security around them. They will spend the week preparing at the Cardinals practice facilities. Now for the Chiefs, they are staying at the Hyatt Regency at Gainey Ranch in Scottsdale. They have strict curfews and no family is allowed to stay at the hotel. These players will have a busy schedule as they try to block out all of the distractions. They will spend this week practicing at ASU's football facilities. A shakeup in the Suns front office as ESPN's Baxter Holmes reports that President and CEO Jason Rowley has resigned. Rowley was largely tied to the misconduct investigation of owner Robert Sarver, though Rowley has claimed that he has been misrepresented. This all comes just ahead of the trade deadline. Now, meanwhile, in college hoops, Bobby Hurley's squad fell to Oregon Saturday evening 75-70 as shooting woes and foul troubles continued. The Sun Devils only completed 8 of their 24 shot attempts from beyond the arc compared to the Ducks' 43%. Their biggest disparity on Saturday night, 10 more fouls for ASU compared to Oregon. Just 3 weeks ago, the Sun Devils were on the verge of a seat in the AP Top 25 as they would prepare to face number 5 UCLA for the top seed in the Pac-12. Now, after losing 5 of their last 6, the final stretch will be critical to remain in the conversation for an NCAA tournament appearance. The Coyotes return to the ice tonight following the All-Star break. They haven't had much success in the first half of the season, but they continue to win off the ice. Cronkite sports reporter Matt Venezia went to the Boys and Girls Club of Scottsdale, where one player scored big.
Nick Bukestad and the Arizona Coyotes have struggled on the ice, but Bukestad has continued to score in the community. The Coyotes forward has participated in community events with the Boys and Girls Club previously while he was a Florida Panther. Now in Arizona, he has visited the Hartley and Ruth Barker Boys and Girls Club to continue where he left off from in the Sunshine State.
There you go, Red. Let's see it. I think it's important as athletes to get involved in the community a little bit. So fortunately, the Boys and Girls Club had me. It's a great organization. I've been a part of it down in Florida.
You can see it in the kids' faces. They lit up. Not when they first walked in, but when they're actually engaging with the professional athlete. I thought that was the highlight of the evening. So it was amazing because they might not get that chance anywhere else, but at Boys and Girls Club or a school.
The students here at the Boys and Girls Club of the Greater Scottsdale area have had events inside of this building before involving the community, but obviously things got taken to a whole nother level with an NHL player and a member of the Arizona Coyotes coming to hang out for a few hours. It was Bukestad's first time doing an event here at this school, and the staff members and the students had great reactions to what was surely a day they'll never forget.
Did he high stick it? What did he get?
I didn't think it was going to be hands-on physical activity and teaching them basic hockey stuff that some of these kids don't have because of the resources. And kudos to the Coyotes because now we have these hockey sticks at our facility and they're all talking about when can we play this again. So I know we definitely sparked something there with our members.
You guys won today. That was a pretty good battle.
When the final whistle blew and the fun was over, Bukestad gave some advice and gave out a few gifts. Small gestures that go a long way for the kids of the Boys and Girls Club. In Scottsdale, Matt Venezia, Cronkite News.
One final note, AJ Green is hanging it up. The Cardinals wide receiver announced his retirement today on social media. And that's it for the Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, John and Miriam.
Okay, thanks, Sammy. Still ahead on Cronkite News.
The stars turning out for music's biggest night. A big name coming to the Valley later this year, setting a new record at last night's award show.
General Manager of Arizona PBS. PBS. We've got so much going on here at the station.
I'm Catherine Anaya.
I'm Alberto Rios.
I'm Chef Mark Tarbell.
I'm Ted Simons.
We want everyone to know that their Arizona connection starts right here at Arizona PBS.
For over the past 60 years, Arizona PBS has told incredible stories of Arizona's distinctive people.
We got to start being more vulnerable with each other.
What I love most about being a Latina woman is the passion and drive that I feel.
Beautiful landscapes and treasured history.
We're doing something that benefits the community.
Good evening and welcome to Horizonte.
Welcome to Check Please Arizona.
Welcome to the U.S. Senate debate.
The recipient of the Emmy is
Arizona PBS.
Music fans across the country tuned into the Grammys last night to see their favorite artist would win the industry's most prestigious award.
Yeah, this year even more history was made as new categories and broken records headline music's biggest night. After winning Best Dance Electronic Album, Beyoncé has now won more Grammys than any other artist. Kim Petras also made history with her win alongside singer Sam Smith. Petras became the first trans woman to win in the pop duo category. Some other highlights include Dr. Dre winning the inaugural Global Impact Award for contributions throughout his career, and Harry Styles took the ceremony's main prize when he won the Album of the Year for Harry's House.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.